Okay, so basically answering Pemahaman question is very, very simple. All right. First thing first, I would like to explain is, in Pemahaman question, there are two types. They are objective and subjective. Okay, subjective means you have to write down your own answer. Objective means you just select A, B, and C. Okay, but you always remember that the questions are very, very straightforward. They always ask the same thing over and over again. They always ask mengapa. They always ask di mana, bila, apa. What else? Anyone knows? Anyone have any ideas? Okay, let me tell you in English. Basically, they're asking what, when, where, why, how. Okay?
Okay.
Anyone knows what's how in Malay? Oh, one more.
Bagaimana?
Yes, bagaimana and siapa. Okay, so these are the 6 basic questions that they will ask you in your Pemahaman question. It's a very straightforward and direct question. Okay, so it is very important for you all to understand mengapa, di mana, bila, apa, bagaimana, and siapa. Okay, before answering the question, I always teach my students to read the question first. Okay, you read the question before reading the passage. Okay, if you see here, it's very basic. Apa, apakah, siapakah, which is who, apakah is what. Okay, and then pelajar ini akan mendapat manfaat daripada lawatan. Victor, berapa, okay, it's like how many, okay, and then apa. See, these are all the basic, which is a question. This is very direct. Okay, now you also have to take note of the kata kunci in the question. Okay, what is kata kunci? Anyone knows? Okay, kata kunci is the keywords in the question. So you have to know what are the keywords in the question so that you are able to search for the answers in the passage. All right. So if you see here the first question, apakah yang dirancangkan oleh Sekolah Menengah Tanjung Puteri? So dirancangkan is the keyword law. In this case, dirancangkan means what is organized or arranged by the school. Okay, so this is how you should analyze the question before you start answering them. Okay, now in this case, if you see, you start with knowing what they are asking at the first part, whether it is what, when, where, why, or how. All right, then you look for the keyword before going into the passage. All right, but of course, before answering, you have to read the whole passage. Okay, now let's have a look at this passage. Baca pengumuman di bawah ini dan menjawab soalan-soalan berikut. Now, pengumuman is a announcement. Okay, so basically this is a letter or announcement text that is sent out by the school to the parents, all right, about the lawatan sambil belajar. Okay, if you look here, lawatan sambil belajar is, what's lawatan sambil belajar? Akif, what's lawatan sambil belajar? Okay, lawatan sambil belajar as per the word is actually a field trip, but it benefits a student in a way you are having a trip while studying. Okay, lawatan is the trip, sambil belajar is a trip while you are studying. Okay, so let's have a look at the passage. Sekolah Menengah Tanjung Puteri berancang untuk mengadakan lawatan sambil belajar ke London, United Kingdom pada bulan Jun 2004. Selain daripada melancong ke negara asing, kita akan berpeluang untuk mengenali budaya dan tradisinya. Beberapa program telah diaturkan untuk melawat tempat-tempat bersejarah dan menarik yang akan menambahkan pengetahuan kita sambil kita menikmati negara orang. Lawatan ini akan berlangsung selama 2 minggu. Tempat penginapan akan diaturkan dengan kerjasama Jabatan Penuntut Malaysia di London. Berikut ialah beberapa tempat yang dicadangkan. So this is a formal letter where they have numbers here. Alright, so lawatan ke Parlimen British di mana ahli-ahli politik British berkumpul untuk membincangkan dan membahaskan isu-isu penting. Kita akan berpeluang untuk menghadiri satu sidang perbahasan. So this is the number one thing. This is the first thing that they mentioned. Then is the second activity. Lawatan ke museum Victoria and Albert, di mana tersimpan barang-barang lama yang ada kaitan dengan mata pelajaran sejarah bagi pelajar-pelajar tingkatan 5. This is the second agenda. Third agenda is melawat sebuah sekolah menengah di kota London di mana terdapat penuntut berbilang bangsa. And the fourth agenda is lawatan sehari ke Stratford-upon-Avon, tempat lahir William Shakespeare. Ini akan merupakan lawatan menarik bagi mereka yang belajar sastera. Okay, then the ending year is kos lawatan ini dianggar sebanyak RM5,000 dan ini termasuklah tambang, tempat tinggal, makan dan kenderaan. Bayaran boleh dibuat secara beransuran setiap bulan. Sesiapa yang berminat hendaklah membayar wang pendahuluan sebanyak RM200 sebelum 4 Oktober 2003. Okay, after reading this, I want to know, you all understand the passage or not?
Not one bit.
Not one bit. Okay, interesting. What about Wen Feng? Do you understand anything?
Kinda, yeah.
Huh?
I kinda do.
Okay. Okay, now let me explain to you briefly what this passage is talking about. Okay, basically they did mention about the trip to London organized by the school, which is Sekolah Menengah Tanjung Puteri. Okay, so you see here, Sekolah Menengah Tanjung Puteri berancang untuk mengadakan lawatan sambil belajar ke London. So this is the introduction of this passage. Basically, they are telling you that there will be a trip organized by this school to London, okay, at this date, June 2004. Okay, so what they mention here is other than visiting other country, we get a chance berpeluang untuk mengenali budaya dan tradisinya. It's trying to tell you that we will get the chance to learn the traditions and also to learn the culture of the other countries. Okay, and then here they mention that beberapa program telah diaturkan, which is a few programs that has been arranged to visit the places, exciting places. Now, all these are mentioned here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then also they said that this trip will be for a week, selama seminggu. Okay, tempat penginapan is your accommodation, okay, where you stay. Okay, akan diaturkan dengan kerjasama Jabatan Penuntut Malaysia di London. What they're telling you is Jabatan Penuntut Malaysia di London will organize your accommodation for this school. Okay, and then these are the places that we will visit during the trip. The first is to lawatan ke Parlimen British. Lawatan ke Parlimen British is they are going to visit the British Parliament. Alright, di mana ahli-ahli politik British berkumpul untuk membincang dan membahaskan isu-isu penting negara. Now, what they mean here is the Parliament is the place where the British politicians, gather up and debate about the country's issue. Okay. And they also mentioned that we will have a chance to join one of the debates. Okay, perbahasan here means debate. Alright. Then point number 2, they mentioned about lawatan ke Museum Victoria Albert. So they will visit the Victoria Albert Museum. Okay, di mana tersimpan barang-barang lama, which means the place where they keep the old things. Okay, the historical or meaningful objects back then. Okay, hence the name museum lah. Alright, yang ada kaitan dengan mata pelajaran sejarah bagi tingkatan 5. So which means it's saying that this trip actually benefits the Form 5 students, okay, who takes the history subject. Right, and then the third paragraph, the third point, the third agenda they mentioned about, they are visiting a school in Kota London, which means they will be visiting a school. Okay, so basically this is very close to a it's a trip where you get to understand people's culture and also their traditions. It's very, very close to a student exchange program, but this is not lah. Okay, this is just a trip, a field trip. All right. So they mentioned here that they will get to visit the school where they get to learn. The school which have terdapat penuntut berbilang bangsa, which means they have students of different races and culture. Okay, it's like Malaysian school, they will have Indian, Malay, Chinese. Okay, in London, then they have their different races in the same school, right? And the fourth agenda, they will also visit to the Stratford-upon-Avon, which is the tempat lahir, is the place where William Shakespeare was born. Okay, now they also mentioned something important here. Ini akan merupakan lawatan menarik bagi mereka yang belajar sastra. What they're trying to say here is, for those who are studying literature, sastra is literature, doing literature studies will benefit from this agenda because they'll be visiting this, the place where William Shakespeare was born, right? And the last part here, they mentioned about cost lawatan ini dianggar sebanyak 5,000, which means the total cost of this trip is dianggarkan, is estimated, okay, estimated to be 5,000 ringgit Malaysia, alright. Dan ini termasuklah tambang, tempat tinggal, makan dan kenderaan. Okay, what they're telling you here is the 5,000 ringgit here is inclusive of your fare. Okay, tempat tinggal is your place to stay. Alright, makan is your food and kenderaan is vehicle. Okay. And bayaran ini dibuat secara beransuran, which means this payment can be made with beransuran is. Anyone knows what's beransuran? JN? No? Venice? Venice. No. Okay, beransuran is installment. Okay, so they are telling you that you can make this payment via installment. Alright, installment every month. Alright, so siapa yang berminat hendaklah membayar wang pendahuluan sebanyak 200 ringgit Malaysia sebelum 4 Oktober 2003. So whoever is interested have to pay a wang pendahuluan is deposit, okay, of 200 ringgit before 4th October to reserve your spot. Okay, so basically this is what they mean in this whole passage. Alright? Okay, so now after understanding the whole passage, we can start answering it. Okay, a lot of students that I've realized is they have problem answering the passage is first thing. Second thing is they don't understand the question below. That's why I always mention to them, it's very simple. You just have to know mengapa, di mana, bila, apa, bagaimana, siapa. Okay, siapa is who, bagaimana is how, apa is what, bila is when, di mana is where, mengapa is why. So by understanding the question at the very, very first place, you will be able to search for the answers in the passage.